Hi dear students, in last class we have discussed about the basic accounting concepts. In that there are 13 basic accounting concepts are there. So in previous class we have studied 3 accounting concepts. One is business entity concept, then money measurement concept and going concern concept. So today we are going to continue the next accounting concepts, that is accounting period concept, cost concept, dual aspect concept and matching concept. Okay, so today we are going to discuss next accounting concepts. So first one, that is accounting period concept. So accounting period concept says that when you are going to record the financial statements, when you are going to record the transactions of whatever the transactions are to be made in business organization are to be recorded in the books of accounts. So that recording the period, time period from when you are going to enter in the books of account, that period is called as the accounting period. So now we are going to study the accounting period concept. So according to this concept, we can say that every business transactions, according to this concept, every business transactions are recorded for a particular time period. So for a particular time period, according to which a businessman evaluate the performance of their business. So according to this concept says that every business transactions are to be recorded in a particular time period, according to which businessman is to be evaluated the performance of their business. So when the accounting transactions are to be recorded for a particular time period, that is called as the accounting concept or accounting period concept, that should be evaluated by the businessman of the performance of their business organization. So when the performance of the business organization are to be evaluated by a businessman, they should be recorded in the books of account on a particular time period. Understood? Whatever the performance is to be evaluated by the businessman, that should be recorded in a particular time period, that is called as the accounting period concept. So in business organization, accounting period time period will be 1 year, that is 12 months time period. So here we can say that accounting period will be 12 months, or we can say it as a 1 year. Okay, so we can consider 12 months. It may be from 1st April to 31st March. This is the accounting period. Or it may be from 1st January to 31st December. So this is the accounting period, so that we can enter the transactions in the books of account. So these two are the accounting period. This 1st April to 31st March, this year is to be considering as a financial year, and 1st January to 31st December, this accounting period is to be considered as a calendar year. So from January 1 to 31st December, if you are going to enter the transactions in this year, according to this year, this is called as the calendar year. If you are going to record the financial transactions on with the help of financial year, so that financial year is to be considered as 1st April to 31st March. So this accounting period is called as the accounting period concept, that all the transactions are to be evaluated by the businessman and that should be recorded as per the particular time period. So this is called as the accounting period concept. ಓಕೆ, ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಹಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಹಿವಾಟುಗಳನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಆದಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಹಿವಾಟುಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಅಂದರೆ 12 ತಿಂಗಳದ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಸೊ ಆ 12 ತಿಂಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದ ಪೀರಿಯಡು ನಾವು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು 1st ಏಪ್ರಿಲಿಂದ 31st ಮಾರ್ಚ್ವರೆಗೂ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜನವರಿ 1ರಿಂದ 31 ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಇಯರನ್ನು ನೀವು ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನೀವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ according to this concept a business must record all their assets at the cost price. That means the price which is paid by the business to acquire those assets. So cost concept is nothing but whatever the assets are to be purchased by the business, that should be recorded in the books of account. Okay, cost concept is nothing but according to this concept the assets are to be recorded when the business is to be purchased. The assets, that assets should be recorded in the books of account. Okay, then why are considering as a cost concept? While purchasing the asset you have to spend certain expenditures or expenses, that we can say for example if you are going to purchase an asset, that we have to cost concept is to be added price of the asset plus transport expenses plus installation fees etc. So for example, the total price of an asset, the cost of an asset is 50,000, transport charges 5,000, then installation charges 5,000. So total cost concept is 60,000, that we can call as a 60,000 which are to be recorded in the books of account. So cost is nothing but total expenses paid by business when they are going to record the asset or when they are going to purchase the asset. Total cost, or we can say it as a asset at the cost price. Cost price is nothing but price of the asset plus transportation fees charges plus installation charges. So adding these three amount, we are going to get the cost price of the asset, which is to be recorded in the books of account by the business. Okay, that is called as the cost concept. That we can say here, according to this concept, a business must record all their assets. Business must record all their assets at the cost price. That means the price which is paid by the business to acquire the asset. So when the business is going to purchase or acquire the asset, that cost price is to be recorded in the books of account of all assets. Whatever the assets are to be purchased by the business, that you have to be recorded in the books of account, that we can call as a cost concept. Okay, ಸೊ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವೆಚ್ಚ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವೆಚ್ಚ, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಅಸೆಟನ್ನು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅದರ ವೆಚ್ಚವನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಅಸೆಟನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲಾಗಿ ನಾವೇನು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿವಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಆ ಅಸೆಟ್ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟದ, ಅದರ ಬೆಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟದ ರೀ, 50,000 ಅದ. ಅದನ್ನು ತಂದು ತಲುಪಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ 5,000 ಅಂತ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲೇಷನ್, ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ ಮಷಿನರಿ ಅದ, ಒಂದು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಮಷಿನ್, ಅದನ್ನು ತಂದು ತಲುಪಿಸಿದ ನಂತರ ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲೇಷನ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 5,000 ಅಂತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು ನಿಮ್ದು, 60,000. ಈ 60,000 ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್, ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಟು. ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ according to this concept, there is dual effect. Here there is dual effect of each transaction. One is debit and other one is credit. So whatever the transactions are to be made in business organization, there will be two effects that we can call as a dual effect or concept. Okay, so here we can say, for example, purchase a machinery or purchase a goods for cash rupees 5,000. So this is one of the transaction dual aspects. Okay, in this dual aspects are, one is purchase and another one is cash. You are going to purchase goods for rupees 5,000, for cash rupees 5,000. So this is one of the example of dual aspect concepts. So here one transaction, there are this transaction concerns each transaction as a, one is debit and one is credit. So here one is purchase account and another one is cash account. So we can say, when you have studied in bridge course, that I have told rules of accounting, in that personal account, real account, nominal account we have studied. So when you are going to considering this sentence, purchase a goods for rupees 5,000 as cash. So when you are going to purchase a goods, here purchase account and cash account. Purchase is to be considered as a debit, cash is to be considered as a credit. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So purchase goods will coming in, cash is going out. So here two dual aspects are to be considered. One aspect is purchase, another aspect is cash. Okay, so that is called as the dual aspect concept. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ, ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರೀ, ಎರಡು ಪ್ರಕಾರದ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ rupees 5,000 ಅಂತಿದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ rupees 5,000. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ವಸ್ತುಗಳಾಯ್ತಾ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಜ್ ವಸ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಬಂತು, ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಹೋಯಿತು, ನಾವು ವಸ್ತು ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಶನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಸ್ತು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಹೋಯಿತು, ಅದು ಎರಡನೇ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. According to this concept, there will be a match between revenue of a particular period with the expenses of that particular period. So matching concept is relation between what? Revenue and expenses. Revenue in the sense income, expenses means whatever the cost arises when you are going to do the transactions. So according to this concept, it says that there will be a match between revenue and expenses of a particular time period. So match in the sense, it is nothing but when you are going to purchase a product or purchase a goods, whatever the cost is to be incurred, that we have to be matched with the income, that is the revenue. So relation between revenue and expenses is called as the matching concept. So both should be in a equal way. That, for example, we are here telling that all revenue earned, whatever the income is to be earned, whether that income in the cash, whether you are received or not, that you have to see. With this you have to match the cost incurred. When you are going to earn the income, there will be some cost is to be incurred. That cost, whether you are going to paid or not, that you have to be considered. This is called as the matching concept. For example, here we can say, when you are going to sell the product, for example, here for matching we can say, there will be a stock of rupees 10,000. Stock of rupees 10,000 is a transaction. So when you are going to match this, this is the stock in the sense what? Revenue. Okay, so if you are going to see this one section, that is a stock of rupees 10,000, this should be matched. The stock goods are to be sold. For example, if you have sold of rupees 5,000, if the stock of goods is to be sold, there will be the stock of 10,000 stock is there. From 10,000 stock materials or goods you have to be sold, that is a revenue, that you got 5,000 rupees. So remaining still it is not matched. Why? Because here 10,000 is there, here 5,000 is there. So remaining 5,000 is to be considered as a closing stock, then it should be matched. So revenue with expenses, when you are going to make the match between these two, that is called as the matching concept. So understood? If you are having stock of rupees 10,000, when you are going to sell the goods of 5,000 rupees, and remaining 5,000 rupees is to be considered as a closing stock. So this is the matching concept. If you have not sold any goods or any stock materials, then all amount it should be shown as a closing stock only of a particular time period. So as a particular time period, if some goods are to be sold, that is called a revenue, whatever you are going to get the income. And if the stock is not sold, if the goods are not sold, then that amount is to be considered as a remaining goods is to be considered as a closing stock. So this is the matching concept. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡುವುದು. ಸೊ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು, ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವೆಚ್ಚ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ವೆಚ್ಚ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಖರ್ಚಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇವು ಎರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಉಳಿದಂಥ ದಾಸ್ತಾನುಗಾರಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅದ ರೀ, ಗೂಡ್ಸ 10,000 ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಅದ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸೈಡ್ ಆದರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಅದರಾಗಿಂದ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಸ್ಟಾಕನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, 5,000 ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 5,000 ಏನು ಉಳಿತದ ಅದು ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗನ್ನು ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಒಂದೇ ಸೈಡ್ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಬರೀಬಾರ್ದು, ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಮತ್ತು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ನೀವು ತೋರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನೀವು ಅರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ವೆದರ್ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಆಗೈತೆ ಇಲ್ಲೋ, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕರ್ಡ್, ವೆಚ್ಚ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನೀವು ಪೇಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ, ವೆದರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಪೇಡ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. You should remember that according to this concept there will be the match between revenue and expenses of a particular time period is called as the matching concept. Okay, so next one, that is revenue recognition concept. So revenue recognition concept is nothing but revenue in the sense whatever the income you have to be earned in a business organization, that you have to be recognized. Recognize means you have to be identify the income of your business, that is called as the revenue recognition concept. So what this concept says, according to this concept, revenues of a business, revenue of a business should only be recorded when they have actually realized that when a business receives the right of claiming their revenue. So this is very important to understand this. Revenue recognition concept says that according to this concept, revenue is of a business, it should be recorded only when there will be the actual realized of a particular transactions. You should be realize it that when a business receives the right of claiming their revenue. Right of claiming means you should have the authority to claim that revenue. Means this right is nothing but not a right hand. Here rights means this right is to be considered to get the authority to claim their revenue. So whatever the revenue you are going to receive or income you have to receive, whatever the income you are going to receive, first you have to be get the authority to receive or to claim the revenue. That we can say as a right of claiming the revenue. This concept says that when you are going to receive the income or receive the revenue, first you have to actually realize that particular transaction and you should be get the right of that claim. Means for example, here we can say when machine or any goods is to be sold, a product or goods sold on 1st April 2020. One product is to be sold on 1st April 2020, but you cannot receive any amount by selling this product. You have to be received this amount on cash is to be received after 3 months or after 3 months, that we have to be received 25 July 2020. This is one of the example. Means you are going to sell the goods or sold the goods on 1st April 2020. When you are going to sell this product, after selling this product, then you will get the right of that revenue. So this is important. When you are going to recognize that, when you are going to sell the product, after selling that product on credit basis, then you will having the right to claim the revenue. So after selling the product, then you have right to receive the amount or you have the right to ask the amount. So this payment is to be made on cash on 25th July 2020. So after receiving the amount, this we can to be recorded in the books of account. After selling also you are going to record as a revenue, that you have to claim the revenue. Then after receiving the cash, you are going to record in the books of account. When you are going to sell this product, product, on that moment only you are getting the rights. Means you are having the authority to ask the amount. So here we can say this is the revenue recognition concept. So ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ರಿಕಗ್ನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ, ಇದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾನ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್. This account is to be recorded only when you have this realization is to be made, actual realized. That is when a business receives the right of claiming their revenue. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವಾಗ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಯಾವ ತಾರೀಕಿಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 1, 2020ಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಆ ಮೂಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಉದ್ರಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ, ವಸ್ತುನ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ತೊಗೊಂಡ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗಲ್ಲಿ ಹಕ್ಕು ಮೂಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಅವರು ಟೈಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಜುಲೈ 25ಗೆ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ವಸ್ತುನ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಹಕ್ಕಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು, ಕ್ಯಾಶನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶನ್ನು ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೈಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲೈಮಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ ನೀವು 25th ಜುಲೈವರೆಗೂ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹಕ್ಕನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ರಿಕಗ್ನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ revenue recognition concept, that you have to remember that only the business the revenue of a business should be recorded only when the actual realize is to be made, when they receives or when a business receives the right of claiming their revenue. Okay, so this is the 8th revenue recognition concept. Okay, today I have discussed 5 concepts, then remaining 5 concepts are to be discussed in will be discussed in next class. Okay, thank you.